Both are noisy, group-oriented, and extremely adaptive. But where starlings win in aerial agility and synchronized flight, Mynas take the edge in confrontational behavior. They are louder, more insistent, and more at ease taking food directly from areas where people live. In places where both species exist, you'll often find the Myna winning battles over nest boxes and food scraps, thanks to its readiness to fight dirty if needed. Not to mention the smaller sparrows. These little birds don't stand a chance in a direct clash. Mynas will routinely force sparrows out of prime nesting areas, especially in urban buildings. They'll harass them mid-air, destroy nests, and even attack chicks or eggs in extreme cases. It sounds brutal, but in the wild, competition is fierce, and the Myna is all about survival. It's not a peaceful cohabiter, it's a winner-take-all kind of bird. But it's not just other birds that face the Myna's wrath. Even small mammals like squirrels and rodents can get harassed if they come too close to Myna nests. In one documented case, a pair of Mynas was seen dive-bombing a rat that tried to climb a tree where their nest was located. They worked in tandem, hitting it with wings and pecking at its back until the rodent gave up and ran. This kind of tag-team aggression is classic Myna behavior, fast, sharp, and relentless. Myna birds also fight with each other, especially when there isn't enough food or places to nest. Their fights involve lots of vocal threats, wing spreading, and hopping, followed by lunges and pecks. They'll go beak to beak in midair or roll around on the ground in a flurry of feathers, claws, and furious squawks. It's not uncommon to see a whole group of Mynas watching two rivals duel it out while maintaining a shouting chorus in the background. It's dramatic, messy, and highly entertaining, bird street theater at its finest. One unique aspect of Myna conflict is their use of alarm calls. When threatened or angry, they let out a rapid-fire series of loud, metallic chirps that instantly alert others in the area. This is often a call to action as well as a warning. Other nearby Mynas will swarm in and assist, overwhelming intruders with sheer numbers and volume. It's a kind of communal defense, and it works. Move over hawks, the Myna is the real street warrior. When you think of bird fights, your mind might jump to hawks, falcons, or maybe even roosters. But there's one underdog in the bird world that's packing some serious attitude, the Myna bird. This isn't your shy backyard visitor or sweet morning songbird. The Myna is bold, smart, and not afraid to throw down when it comes to food, space, or dominance. These birds not only survive but also dominate chaotic environments. In the world of feathered confrontations, the Myna bird is a surprising, scrappy contender. Let's start with some comparisons. When matched against other common urban birds, like pigeons, crows, starlings, or sparrows, the Myna often comes out on top, not in size or strength, but in strategy and boldness. They're not the biggest, but they are fearless. Where sparrows scatter and pigeons shuffle away, the Myna stands firm. It will raise its chest, shout harshly, and fight a rival like it is guarding a castle. Whether it's fighting for nesting space in a rooftop crevice or competing for food scraps on the sidewalk, the Myna bird doesn't back down. Pigeons, for instance, are larger than Mynas, but they're relatively passive. They might peck at food and bump into each other in crowded spots, but real aggression isn't their thing. Mynas, on the other hand, will aggressively chase pigeons away from feeding areas. If a pigeon tries to join a Mynas feast that it considers its own, it will probably be squawked at, pecked, or even bullied into leaving. In fast food parking lots or market trash zones, it's common to see Mynas claim dominant feeding ground by simply out-hustling the rest. Now compare them to crows, which are famous for their intelligence and social tactics. Crows are definitely smarter than Mynas in complex reasoning, but Mynas aren't far behind. Additionally, head-to-head interactions can be wild. Crows typically travel in small groups and cooperate with one another, particularly when scavenging or protecting nests. Mynas, too, are social, but they lean into a more reactive, territorial style of combat. If a crow swoops in near a Myna nest or feeding area, the Myna won't just run, it might stand its ground or call backup. A group of angry Mynas can mob a crow and drive it off with relentless dive-bombing attacks and shrill alarm calls. Starlings and mynas are sometimes mistaken for each other due to similar shapes and behaviors. When confronted with an enraged group of screeching, dive-bombing mynas, larger predators like cats, snakes, or birds of prey frequently give up and retreat. Now, in terms of flight battles, mynas are decent flyers but not particularly graceful. They have short, powerful flights with lots of flapping, but they're not aerial acrobats like swallows or falcons. Still, their aerial aggression is effective. They'll chase intruders mid-flight, harassing them with tail-fanning maneuvers and aggressive wing flapping. Sometimes they'll even try to land on arrivals back in the air to force them down. Myna birds also battle with humans, indirectly. In cities where they've grown too numerous, they become a nuisance. They damage crops, nest in vents, create noise pollution, and displace native birds. People have tried various methods to deter them, from installing spikes on ledges to using loudspeakers with predator sounds. But the myna always seems to come back. It learns quickly. If one tactic doesn't work, it adapts. That clever defiance is part of why they've survived so successfully in the urban jungle. Despite their scrappy nature, it's hard not to admire the myna. It's a fighter, sure, but a smart one. It picks its battles, calls for backup when needed, and knows how to win territory without wasting energy. It fights without resorting to violence. It fights to defend its family, secure food, and carve out a space in the chaotic mix of urban life. In a world where many animals struggle to coexist with humans, the myna not only fits in, it dominates. Whether they're going beak to beak with another bird, ganging up on a crow, or just glaring down a dog from a park bench, myna birds show that courage, intelligence, and adaptability often outweigh size and strength. These aren't just pretty birds with a nice voice, they're streetwise survivors, winged warriors of the modern world. So the next time you hear one chattering above a bus stop or catch a glimpse of one strutting across a cafe patio, remember, that bird isn't just looking for crumbs. It is conducting court. It's watching. And if necessary, it's ready to fight for what's his. The myna bird doesn't just live in the city, it rules it. Now I explain. Can this bird bring good luck? Shocking Myna superstitions. The myna bird is more than just a chatterbox perched on a rooftop or strutting around a food court. In many cultures, especially in South Asia, it holds a kind of mythological status. While modern city dwellers often see the myna as just another noisy bird blending into the urban landscape, generations before us believed it carried messages, symbolized love, or even echoed the voices of the gods. The truth about the myna bird lies somewhere between superstition and science, and that space is rich with strange tales, spiritual meaning, and old-world charm. One of the most prevalent myths about the myna is that it can communicate with spirits and comprehend human speech. While it's true that the